In the Parshiyot, חיי שרה, תולדות, and Vayetze, we see that our forefather, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, are conducting business. And we can learn a lot from the way they do business. Let's take a look at beginning of חיי שרה. חיי שרה, Avraham Avinu wants to buy a burial place for Sarah Imenu. When he comes to buy the place, he doesn't look for any discounts and he wants to pay full price. When Ephron HaChiti tells Avraham Avinu, take it for free. לא אדוני, שמעני, השדה נתתי לך, והמערה אשר בו לך נתתיה. Take the whole land for free. It's an honor for me. You are Nesi Elokim, and therefore it's yours. Avraham Avinu is not willing to take it free at all. And he tells him, אם אתה לו שמעני, נתתי כסף השדה כך ממני. For me, it's considered like I gave the money already. Whatever it is, I paid already. I will not take it for free. Ephron hears that, and he tells him, okay, you should pay 400 shekel kesef. That is the price. Although it's an extreme amount for such a piece of land that Chazal explained to us was just a cave, black cave where nothing was there, but he felt, Avraham Avinu, that he wants to pay the entire amount and even pay much more than it's worth in order to get that place for the burial of Sarah Imenu. And we need to understand, why would he pay so much when he was offered to take it for free? Even if you're not going to take it for free, but pay something that's less than the entire amount and even more being paid that extra amount. Secondly, we found in Parashat Toldot, when in Parashat Toldot, Yaakov Avinu is buying the Bechorah from Esav right away in the beginning, he pays pennies for it. Although it's a very, very important thing, the Bechorah, and it must be worth a lot of money, but still all he does, he gives him lentil for it. Nezid Adashim, that's all it is. That's what Esav wants, that's what he gives him. Why over there he doesn't give him the entire amount, just so we found Avraham Avinu? Avraham Avinu is buying Sedeh Machpelah, he's buying the burial place, he wants to pay the entire amount. When it comes to Yaakov Avinu, he buys the Bechorah, which is worth a lot. Bechorah is something that's priceless, and he buys it for nothing, Nezid Adashim, for lentil. Needs to understand this idea. We found the same thing, for instance, in the end of Shmuel, when David HaMelech comes to buy the land from Aravna Yevusi, he wants that land in order to build over there Beit HaMikdash. That was in Yerushalayim, the place that Beit HaMikdash is built, Beit, what we call today. So when Aravna sees the king comes to him, he says, "Aravna, madua ba adoni HaMelech lavdo?" What are you doing here? What are you coming to do here? So David HaMelech answers him, לקנות ממך את הגורן, לבנות מזבח לאדוני. I'm coming to buy the land over here in order to build a mizbeach to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So when Aravna hears that, he says, take it for free. ואומר אravna al David, ייקח. ויעל אדוני המלך הטוב בעיניו. Take it for free. It's an honor for me. It's a privilege for me. I want to have the zechut. David HaMelech answers him, no way. ואומר המלך אל ארבנה, לא, I will not take it for free. כי קנו אקנה מאותך במחיר ולא עלה לאדוני אלוהי עולות חינם. I will not buy it for free, I want to pay the full price. ויקן דוד את הגורן ואת הבקר בכסף שקלים 50. He buys it full price. So why is it over here also he buys full price, unlike Yaakov Avinu, when he buys the Bechorah, he buys it for pennies. In Parashat Vayetze, is also business between Yaakov and Lavan. Over there, they're arguing over the salary of Yaakov Avinu. And when Yaakov Avinu sets a certain salary, Lavan keeps on changing his salary. 100 times he changes his salary. And at a certain point, Yaakov Avinu says to his wives, I can't continue like this. ואומר להם, רואה אנוכי את פני אביכם, כי איננו אליי כתמול שלשום. ואתן ידעתן, כי בכל כוחי עבדתי את אביכם, ואביכם הטל בי, והחליף את משכורתי 10 מונים. Your father, Lavan, kept on changing my salary. Your father mocked me and changed my wage 100 times. So therefore, we can't continue making business like that. When you deal with somebody who keeps on changing what you stipulated, you can't make business in any way with such a person. And just to give a little bit understanding to everything that goes on around here is that we need to understand that whenever we deal with business, things must be as clear as a day. Nothing has to be left in the shadow. You make business with somebody, everything has to be very, very clear. If it's somebody you trust 100%, so even if it's not clear and you understand each other, that's fine. But whenever we're dealing with somebody that might change his mind after you made a deal with him, everything has to be stipulated to the smallest details and have to be written down as well, because otherwise one of the parties might change his mind, might think differently, things will be manipulated afterwards. Even more so when we're dealing with somebody who's a liar, who's a cheater, just like Lavan was. Even 100 times, even if you stipulate, he'll find ways and cracks in the stipulations and all kind of ways to change what you agreed. You said this way, and you didn't mean that it should be this way with that condition. And therefore, he would change exactly what was set between both of you. And that's what happened with Yaakov. Yaakov Avinu, as much as he tried to be exact with Lavan and explain to him and write down all the details, Lavan find ways in order to change what was agreed. Because of that, when we come to Avraham Avinu and David HaMelech, Avraham Avinu is buying Ma'arat HaMachpelah, place in Hebron. Yaakov Avinu knows that in the future, the children of those that have lived there might say that it belongs to them. And we are only occupied force coming to occupy the land that doesn't belong to us. And as it is in our days, they would claim that it's theirs and we're not allowed to be there. Avraham Avinu knows that the only way to make sure that nobody ever says that it belongs to him is to make sure that he pays full price and even more. So nobody would say that maybe the sale wasn't a sale, he didn't really mean to give it to him, he was just uncomfortable. What he really meant is just as a gesture that you should have it, but really, of course, I want to be paid. And then Avraham Avinu took it, or if he didn't pay full price, he didn't really mean to sell it to him in that amount, but he knew that he can't say anything, it's not nice. Avraham Avinu was a great man. Avraham Avinu tried to avoid all reasoning that might come in the future and make sure that it's paid full price. And that's why it's written in the Torah as well, as evident that it was so, and nobody can argue. It's written in the Torah. The Torah is there for all the nations to see, and they believe in the Torah Kedosha. Whatever is written, even Bnei Ishmael and Bnei Esav believe in what's written in the Torah. So it says over here openly that Avraham Avinu paid entirely for Hebron. Even with all that, they still claim that it belongs to them. But at least the claim is weak, because we see that Avraham Avinu have paid for it full price and beyond. Same thing with David HaMelech. David HaMelech knew that he's buying a place which is the Beit. And that Beit has today where the Muslims are. And they have over there, the Iron Dome. And therefore they claim that it belongs to them, and Jews are not allowed even to walk in there, and they don't have any right to it. So David HaMelech knew once he's buying this thing, he doesn't want any discounts. Why? He needs to pay the entire amount, because in the future they might come and claim that it belongs to them, it wasn't sold, it's occupied force that's sitting in here. For all the reasons that might come up in the future, David HaMelech says, no, I don't want to take it for free. ואומר המלך אל ארונה, לא, כי קנו אקנה מאותך במחיר. I'm paying for it full price. I don't want any discounts. I don't want anything for free. Those things I will only take with full price paid. But when we're dealing with Esav, Yaakov Avinu is buying the Bechorah from Esav. Nobody ever claims the Bechorah. You never heard in history anybody claims the Bechorah wasn't sold. Why? It's spiritual. Nobody cares about it. Although Esav himself says, Vayakveni ze pa'amayim, he took away twice my things. One time was the Bechorah. But it wasn't only a claim that he tried to prove that Yaakov Avinu is such a person that tricks his way through, but not that he wants it back. He's not interested in the Bechorah. He just wanted to show the characteristic of Yaakov Avinu to his father Yitzchak. But nevertheless, he doesn't care about the Bechorah. Nobody ever cares about the Bechorah. We never heard in history that nobody ever said Yaakov Avinu took the Bechorah from Esav. It was taken in an unrighteous way, cheated his way through. Nobody ever says that because nobody cares about the Bechorah. So Yaakov Avinu knows if nobody cares about it, it's worth nothing for them anyway. Vayivez Esav et Bechorah. He took it at the cheapest price, Nezid Adashim. That's the way it works. But all that is summarized afterwards in Parashat Veyativ when we see that every little stipulation have to be written, has to be explained to the smallest condition possible, to the smallest thing that might be changed afterwards. Everything has to be documented, and if not, we see that Lavan can change the agreement every time 100 times. That's the way one should always make business, thinking about the future. Right now we're making a deal, what this deal would bring about in the future. Now when things are going to be a little bit on the gray area, what happens then? Do you want to protect your buying 100%? Make sure that everything is clear and make sure you pay the full price, unless it's something that you know that the other would say he doesn't want it anyway. He thinks that he took a bargain by paying Nezid Adashim lentils for such a thing.